Production of immense possibilities is made possible by the generous support of the Earth and Humanity Foundation. Wendy Selden. Rogue Co-ops, a community-centered collaboration among the Ashland Food Co-op, the Grange Co-op, Rogue Credit Union, and the Medford Food Co-op. Cliff Bar and Company. Elizabeth York, and these additional members of the Immense Possibilities Community Builders Circle.
Today we're talking about surviving. People without food can't survive.
Then it draws you in and makes you want to say, I can do something about that, I can fix that.
And then,
good.
Yes.
You see?
And I love seeing these kids having a better life day by day because of the stuff that Francis is doing.
That's a beautiful gift. You just don't get trust handed to you. You have to work and earn it.
Welcome to our weekly visit with people who are creating immense possibilities for healthy communities, solutions to all kinds of challenges. Now and then we like to introduce you to neighbors who see the entire world as their community and focus on a location where they know they can make a difference. For this week's guest, that place is Guatemala, our international neighbor 2 doors to the south, statistically the most malnourished country in Latin America. That might seem odd for a country that's cultivated its own food for centuries, but recent history's been brutal to Guatemala, especially in its northern highlands.
In the past, these indigenous people were very affected by the political changes, especially the 36-year civil war in Guatemala. Their communities suffered social and family structure breakdowns. Many people in the area had to flee to Mexico for safety. There was a loss and a disintegration of collective knowledge and experience that had been passed down to them by their ancestors.
Today we're talking about surviving. People without food can't survive. People without food, children without food can't learn. Kids are coming into school and they're hungry and they're obviously malnourished. Women are carrying children malnourished. The babies arrive and they don't have the strength and the health to survive childhood diseases.
That voice belongs to Frances Dixon, the Southern Oregon woman who almost 25 years ago founded Adopt a Village. You may remember the project from a short film featured recently on IP Filmworks. I'm delighted to have Frances Dixon join me now, along with Skyla Patton, a junior at Illinois Valley High School in Cave Junction. Thanks so much for coming. It's great to have the two of you here.
Great to be here.
Yeah.
Frances, a little history first. How did Adopt a Village get started?
When I traveled to Guatemala the first time in 1985, it was during the midst of their civil war. And I saw something far greater than the third world poverty that I'd seen in some of the other countries that I'd visited. I was coming face to face with an indigenous population that had been oppressed and persecuted for 500 years. And they were, as I said, in the midst of a genocidal war. There was something that so struck me about these people. I felt they were so stoical. They were surviving under impossible odds, just to stay alive, and it compelled me to go back, and Adopt a Village was born.
Does it come in some ways out of a religious faith?
I would say it comes from my own personal sense of social justice. I kind of believe that, for my part anyway, you know, I hit the birth lottery by being born in North America. I feel that we're so tremendously fortunate to have the opportunities that we do here in this great country. When I go to Guatemala, it's at the other end of the line. It's like they have no opportunities. And I have a deep sense of, if I got that lucky, I need to give back.
How were you first received in an area that's had a real difficult recent history, in part because of the influence of outsiders?
Well, I have to say that the first time I went up to this very remote region, which was an area of war zone, And I pulled over to the side of this road, and there were civil patrollers in maneuvers and a small group of people watching them. And of course, I was curious, so I had to get out and go over, and I stood with a small group of people. And this one fellow turned to me, and here's this like tall, blonde gringa, and he looks at me, and he's this, tiny little guy, and he says, "Oh, are you from the CIA?"
Is it just your persistence going back again and again and again and building schools that got them relaxed about what you were doing?
I truly think that's it. I absolutely, truly think that they saw that I wasn't going to go away. And the other part, too, is that I work with the Mayan people. Our leaders are Maya, and they have the trust of the people. And I think it comes down to this issue of trust. That's a beautiful gift. You just don't get trust handed to you. You have to work and earn it.
Let me get you bragging a little bit. What has Adopt a Village been able to do now in a little over 20 years?
I'm really tremendously proud of our high school because it's a very unique school. It's for Indigenous people. It has 3 diplomas offered. The kids get an academic diploma, they get a computer sciences diploma, they get a sustainable agricultural diploma. They have a quality education far above and beyond what they can find in that area, giving them the opportunity to get into employment. We've got some kids who are now into university. The school only opened its doors 5 years ago. And we have kids in university, coming out of university, getting into professions, and some of them coming back to teach at our school. That is really a thing that fills me up.
Skyla, you are a junior in Southern Oregon in the Illinois Valley, and you are actively involved in supporting this program. Tell us about that.
I actually met Francis, and I learned about Adopt a Village in one of our training assemblies for Interact that we have about 4 times a year. And I decided immediately as vice president that we would definitely want to be involved with such a great program.
So what are you doing? What are you doing to help them?
We fundraise. We have to raise about $2,500 by the end of the year for our village. So we've been fundraising actively, and we have several things planned to fundraise the money and funds for the kids.
And what are a couple of those? What's coming up to raise that money?
The most recent thing we have coming up is a karaoke night that we're going to be hosting in our town with the community members and the kids.
So you figured out a way to make this fun, huh?
Absolutely. Not only have the students in my Interact club been impacted by projects such as this, but even kids that just walk by and see the videos playing or hear us talking about our fundraisers become immediately interested in not only just watching, but participating and helping with our fundraisers.
What do you think it is? What do people see in that video that say, well, I'm going to put some time into this. This is worth my time?
I think kids definitely notice the urgent need, and I think everyone can see the attention that needs, and it draws you in and makes you want to say, I can do something about that. I can fix that. I was very immediately attracted to the children that we would get to be helping, not only the teenagers, but all of the children in the village. And I was very attracted to the idea of being able to help these children. Francis, on their Facebook page, posts pictures of them and the active things that they're doing. And I get to see it every time I go on the internet. And I love seeing these kids having a better life day by day because of the stuff that Francis is doing.
Do you think you're unusual among your friends in this way in caring this much about a group of people, villages of people thousands of miles away? Or do you think if I were talking to most juniors at Illinois Valley High, we'd be having the same conversation?
I think that all people, and teenagers included, have the instinctive feeling that they want to help. I don't think I'm unusual in that sense. I think everyone wants to help and be a participant like I am. I think I am a wee bit unusual in the sense that everyone is presented with similar opportunities, but not everyone steps up to plate, and I chose to step up to plate and go for a home run.
Yeah, you want to hit it out of the park.
Absolutely.
Huh? Francis, are there volunteer opportunities for North Americans down in the villages you're working in?
Oh, absolutely.
What are folks doing?
We need science teachers, we need Spanish language teachers, we need computer tech savvy people. We would love some carpenters down there. There's all sorts of opportunities. And you know, some people get concerned, they say, yeah, but I don't speak Spanish and I'm not a carpenter. But I say, come down and break bread with these people, sit and experience their humanity and their beautiful spirit, and take that and take it back with you.
Is there room, you think, for young people, for people Skyla's age?
Oh, I think our students would be blown out of the water if I could bring kids down their own age.
You know, a lot of viewers don't have a lot of direct contact with teenagers these days, and there are these ideas that float around, these stereotypes. If people could really understand one thing about people your age as a generalization, what would you like it to be?
I think one of the most important things that I would like to point out about teenagers is although times have changed, different things are more active now than they have been, and although me and other people like my age are teenagers, we're more than just teenagers. We're not really walking stereotypes, and I think if people took the time to get to know us a little bit better or get more engaged with the things that we do instead of dismissing us as teenagers, that a lot of more people would understand that we're different.
Frances, what does Adopt a Village most need now to thrive?
We have built a very solid base, a solid foundation of infrastructure. In Guatemala, we have land and property, we have many buildings, we have the high school, we have a high school with a small contingency of students that was built with the future in mind. We could quadruple our enrollment tomorrow and then double that again if we rotated classes. So there's lots of opportunities waiting to happen, but we do need, as all nonprofits do need more infusion of funds and human resources.
Let me ask you this. I think a lot of people would say there's a lot of human suffering right here in this country, whether you go to places, pockets of rural poverty or inner city where people really need some help. Why go so far away when there's so much need close at home?
There's a safety net here in the United States. I mean, it might not be perfect and people might complain about it, but it is a safety net. There's no safety net in Guatemala. There's absolutely no safety net whatsoever for a mother who's been widowed and she's got 5 little kids by her knee and she has no way to feed those kids. There's no government programs down there. There's no church soup kitchens. There is nothing. And there's kids down there, they don't eat maybe for a day, and they might have a few corn tortillas a second day. The need, that's what takes me down there. I see a very distinct level of need between helping here and helping there. People are helping here. Nobody's helping down there, not in the region where I go at any rate.
What's the immense possibility of Adopt a Village?
You know, only 5% of kids in that area graduate from high school. It's unbelievable. What if we took it from 5% to 50%? That would be an immense possibility.
Frances Dixon is the founder and runs Adopt a Village, which operates in Guatemala. Skyla Patton is with the Interact Club, the incoming president of the Interact Club at Illinois Valley High School in Cave Junction, involved in finding local support for Adopt a Village. Thank you both for your great work and for coming to Immense Possibilities to share it with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
The food costs have skyrocketed to the point that some families eat only every other day. People cannot afford to buy seeds. Much of the land is depleted, burned out by use of fertilizers. They must construct their own soil. They must sow their seeds. They must save their seeds. And we know bringing food and sustenance and sustainability to the people of this region of Guatemala is possible.
Seeds. It's not big news that they're vital to the sustainability that Frances and others work for, but there's something we can take for granted. Our next guest doesn't. He is Brooke Galling, and he's one of the founders of Semilla Nueva, or New Seed. Brooke, welcome to Immense Possibilities.
Thank you, Jeff.
What is Semilla Nueva, and how did it get started?
Semilla Nueva is a nonprofit that has a mission to build locally led farmer education programs that increase the income of the farmers, rebuild the soil health, and contribute to Guatemala's food security for the rural poor. We were able to form really sincere and trusting relationships under the understanding that we didn't have the answers, but we had the ideas to get that jump started.
How did you gain their trust? I'm thinking that if I'm them and I'm in my fields and here come these young white guys from the Northwest who want to help me, I'm not sure what they're up to. So how did you build a strong relationship?
You know, work ethic. Went down there. We already had an outstanding relationship with Trinidad Recinos, the Guatemalan partner and co-founder of Semilla Nueva. Every farmer is going to be skeptical about a new idea. You have to spend the time with them and prove it, and they have to see it and feel it and live it to believe it. And it didn't take long for the Guatemalans to realize that we were there to work hard side by side with them to find collaborative solutions to difficulties that they'd been facing. We've been able to introduce improved seeds and improved techniques and experiment with them, collaborate with farmers, and achieve some really great results.
What's been the most challenging part of this work?
The challenge has been to put ourselves so fully into a program and see how much patience it takes to actually begin to see the impacts and the results of those programs. And yeah, it's challenging sometimes to think that you have a great idea and then to go apply it and realize, well, we need to adjust our original concept of how we're approaching this. And it's been really encouraging and exciting to see as that's developed because farmers year by year just continually get more engaged and have more influence and more impact in where our programs head and how they're formed.
What opportunities are there for people who think they might want to plug into this work?
If people are looking to continue to contribute and become a part of the Semilla Nueva team and family, we've got great programs available. Come and visit our programs in Guatemala. Got sponsor family programs available. I encourage you to look at our website or send us an email.
Do you see this project as part of a movement in the larger global food picture?
Very much so, yeah. Semilla Nueva on one end works very intensively with 10 communities in Guatemala. 2015 will be growing to 25. And on the other end, in recent years, we've been able to really create some strong collaborations with the Guatemalan government and other leading agricultural nonprofits in Central America, all across the world, all the way to India included. And the conversation and the experimentation that is beginning to form as a result of our kind of pushing and prodding and opening the doors and opening the minds and planting these new seeds has come a long way in a rather short amount of time, and it's exciting to see.
Brooke, for our IP Filmworks segment this week, we chose a short film from Semilla Nueva called Campesino a Campesino. Can you tell us something about it?
What's really exciting to me about this video is this was filmed before Juan Manuel became a member of the staff of Semilla Nueva, and he's been now working for a year in the field spreading this knowledge and this education and been a wonderful staff member.
Hola, soy Juan Manuel, nacido un 8 de mayo de 1962. Hace 30 años que siembro maíz y ajonjolín acá en la montaña, parcelamiento Caballo Blanco, departamento de Retalhuleu, Guatemala. Hace 43 años surge esta comunidad donde era una selva. Desde este día soy parte colaboradora quemando y arando los suelos, métodos que destruyen cada vez más los suelos de nuestra tierra. Hay muchos riesgos con estos métodos para nuestros suelos, porque lo que cosechamos apenas es para nuestro sustento. Hace 3 años aparece en Semillas Nuevas, impulsándonos a regresar al pasado, no quemando y no arando, trayéndonos diferentes cultivos y semillas nuevas. Experimentamos en pequeñas partes de mi terreno para analizar y demostrarlos a los otros agricultores. Estos nuevos métodos me ayudan para mejorar el suelo y el rendimiento. Yo ya puedo ver con mis propios ojos las diferencias obtenidas sin asesoría técnica y fórmulas. Con la ayuda del equipo del campo, yo puedo interpretar los resultados del campo. Tras la cosecha, los campesinos nos reunimos para analizar lo que falla y lo que funciona. Cada campesino es un maestro valioso para compartir. Trabajamos juntos para solucionar los problemas. Esto se hace claro el balance económico que estamos haciendo. Con los resultados de otros campesinos podemos crear la imagen de qué funciona de lo mejor para nosotros. Me ayudan para creer que yo puedo cambiar como agricultor. Juntos estamos reduciendo las ayudas externas. Esto es el movimiento campesino a campesino. Me doy cuenta que el poder está en mis manos, personal mío y de mi comunidad. Pero para mí lo importante es empezar. Le insto a todo el campesino que me vea a que empiece, no con todo, que le meta fuego a todo el resto que tenga de su terreno, pero que deje un pedacito y que ahí apruebe, que descubra las experiencias que yo hoy estoy contando. De 3 años para acá, yo he tenido una experiencia bien clara, porque si los tiempos siguen como está, el cero labranza va a ser el único medio que nos va a dar el sustento a las familias.
Our last episode about immense international possibilities featured the Himalayan Cataract Project, which is busy restoring sight to thousands in some remote corners of the earth.
And then it's time for the bandages to come off. At first, I'm not sure. The daylight is so strong.
Good, little edema. Not too bad.
And then,
Good.
yes,
You see?
We talked then to one of the project's principal doctors, Southern Oregon ophthalmologist and eye surgeon Matt Oliva.
You can't think of the 20 million blind people. All you can think of is the person or the eye in front of you, and there's many ways all of us could make big differences in individuals' lives, and that's where we should start.
And we're pleased to have Matt Oliva back with us again. Matt, welcome back to Immense Possibilities.
Thanks so much for having me again, Jeff.
Now, you are just back from Ethiopia, just a week or so. What did you do there?
I was involved in a large, high-volume cataract outreach in a place called Durame in the south, and working with local doctors and nurses in a place that really had very little eye care. We were able to do 650 cataract surgeries in 5 days. And
how many doctors?
We had 3 doctors. We had a trainee doctor, the head of the Ethiopian Ophthalmology Society, and myself.
When we last talked, you were really interested in building capacities in these nations, Ethiopia and Nepal. I think you've been other places too, by transferring skills so that they can do more of this work themselves, kind of a multiplier effect. How is that going?
That's going fantastic. Over the last 5 years in Ethiopia, we've trained over 100 personnel, either in Nepal, other countries in Asia, or in the United States, to improve their skills and to be able to expand their services, expand their infrastructure. And the number of cataract surgeries, not coincidentally, has gone up dramatically. We're supporting now over 30,000 cataract surgeries a year in Ethiopia. Some exciting times ahead, and we're really sort of going forward and trying to eradicate as much blindness as possible.
Are more and more doctors stepping up as they hear about your program and others like it?
Absolutely. We've been lucky to get a lot of exposure, and I think the critical message that for $25 you can restore someone's sight and really restore their lives, the individual themselves and that of their families, really resonates with many, many people. And so doctors are contacting us about getting involved, and also nurses, ancillary personnel, and so it takes a group effort.
You're going to keep doing this, aren't you?
I love it. It's really a privilege, though, to be able to give that gift of sight. I mean, it's kind of coming up to the holidays, and I was in Ethiopia over Thanksgiving, and so for me, it's just a sort of a privilege and a pleasure to be able to work hand in hand with great doctors and nurses, and to be able to make a small difference in someone's life.
Dr. Matt Oliva is a principal with the Himalayan Cataract Project. Matt, bless your work, bless what you do, and thanks for coming to share with us on Immense Possibilities.
It's a pleasure to be here again. Thanks so much for having me and for your support, Jeff.
That's it for this edition of Immense Possibilities. You can find more information or send us suggestions at immensepossibilities.org, or visit us on Facebook and like and share us there. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Golden. Till next time, please do what you can do. Thanks for watching to learn about tonight's Immense Possibility. You can watch any of our past programs anytime at immensepossibilities.org.
The SIU House experience is really an opportunity for students to get out of the classroom and engage the community in solving real-world problems.
Houses are about a spirit of adventure. Maybe that's rafting or building a house, but it's also about the adventure of figuring out what comes next.
Get involved, make a difference in the world.
Get connected, join a house.